Hello, everyone. My name is Lexi, and this is a Sincerely Self podcast. I feel like my voice is still a little bit gone. I mentioned in last week's episode that my voice was kind of gone. It feels like my voice is so deep right now. So I apologize about that. But I hope everyone had a really good weekend. This episode is being posted on time. And it will also be available on YouTube. So, like always, the links to listen to the episode and to watch it are all on my link tree on all of my social medias. Today, we are going to be talking about love languages. I have actually made a TikTok about this before. If you don't follow my TikTok, it's just Sincerely Self. I've made a TikTok about this before about showing your love language to yourself, and since this is called Sincerely Self, we are going to be talking about how to show your love languages to yourself. But I want to preface that with talking about love languages in general, all of the different love languages, and ways to show it to your partner, because love languages play a major role in any sort of relationship that you have in your life: friendship, romantic, with your parents, with your coworkers. Literally every single relationship in your life is affected with love languages. So it is very beneficial to know your love language as well as know the love languages of those that you care about so that you can show up for people the way that they need the most. If we're receiving love in a different love language, that's like one of our lowest, for example, it is not going to feel as meaningful. If someone is loving you from their love language and not yours, it is really easy to not feel the love and, feel more of a lack. So I learned a lot looking up stuff for this episode, and I hope you guys learn a lot too. So let's get right into it. So, a love language is pretty much just how you give and receive love the best. Everyone has like a top one, and then it can kind of just go in order of which ones you resonate with the most. But everyone has a number one love language that is their main one. Ways to figure out your love language, I'm going to talk about them right now. So, if these are characteristics that you hold, then that could tell you that's your love language. I also recommend looking up, there's a lot of quizzes online. Also, looking into how your parents showed you love when you were a little kid. That can kind of give you some insight. Thinking of a traumatic event you had with like love or any relationship, what part of that hurt you the most? Is it showing you what is the most important to you? With that being said, let's get into all of the different love languages. The first one is words of affirmation. I'm starting off with this one first because this one is my number one love language, which I didn't even realize. For the longest time, I thought my love language was physical touch, and it turns out I actually just liked the reassurance aspect of physical touch. The qualities of words of affirmation being your number one love language are you really, really appreciate compliments, appreciate affirmations, like positive things that people tell you, or negative things people tell you really hold an impact. Words hurt and are very, very potent with someone whose love language is words of affirmation. So I want to include right now ways that you can show someone this love language. So, for example, if your girlfriend or your boyfriend, their love language is words of affirmation, this is some ways that you can show it to them, because I don't think you should change yourself completely to love someone, but it is always good to adapt so that you can show up for this person in the way that is going to benefit them the most for the aspect of you care about them and you love them. Verbal communication. Communication is huge with words of affirmation. Communication on how you're feeling, communication on how your partner is doing, if this is their love language, letting them know you're proud of them, letting them know how much they mean to you. These things will mean the most to them. The next love language we're going to be talking about is quality time. If your love language is quality time, you feel most appreciated and most loved when you are getting undivided attention, like spending time with someone one-on-one where there's no screens. It's just very intimate quality time that you are spending with this person or with these people. For someone whose love language is quality time, when you are very dismissive with them or not good with planning to see them, they are really, really interested in spending this time with you. If someone special in your life their number one love language is quality time. A way you can show it to them is by setting time apart to see them. How frequent that is completely up to you and your relationship with them. Boundaries obviously are important in every relationship as well. So this is just kind of, I guess, an outline, but the specifics will be up to you and your relationship. But just making sure you're communicating that you do want to see them. When you are with them, you're very dedicated to being with them. You're not distracted by anything else. The next love language is receiving gifts. If your number one love language is receiving gifts, this one is honestly seen a lot of the time as like the most materialistic one when that's not even it. What my understanding of receiving gifts as your love language is when people give you things that are very meaningful. It doesn't have to be something expensive, but it's something that has a lot of thought to it. That is going to mean the most to them. Those kind of things, like the memories and the thoughtful, tangible items, that means the most to them. So if the person you care about, their love language is receiving gifts, make sure you are putting a lot of thought behind the things that you give them. So, like I said, it doesn't need to be anything expensive. If you pick them up flowers on your way home because you noticed that their favorite flowers were there, that's very, very thoughtful. Or they're having a bad day, so you get them a little soda or something that's their favorite and bring it to them. The little things, but those tangible items mean the most to them. The next love language is acts of service. If your love language is acts of service, you appreciate when someone is willing to help you run errands, help you finish a project. People whose love language is acts of service most of the time have very, very busy schedules. They're very work oriented. So if someone is willing to help them ease the load, I guess, in a way, it means the most to them. If the person you care about, their love language is acts of service, make sure you are just checking in with them, seeing how they're doing. Hey, are you super stressed with this? Like, let me know. I can help you out with that. Just making sure they know that you are willing to assist them if needed. The last love language is physical touch. This one I feel like is one of the most common ones. Physical touch is you get the most reassurance and feel the most cared about when someone's holding your hand, someone gives you a hug, they're sitting close to you, it lets you know how much they care about you. It also means that your partner's or whoever it is, their physical presence is very, very crucial to maintaining the relationship. You like being in person with people. If the person you care about's love language is physical touch, you can make sure if you're in public and you don't like PDA, you're just standing a little bit close to them or have your hand on their back, you grab their hand for a second. Just little things like that are going to reassure them and make them feel cared about and feel loved. Make sure you're doing it in a manner that is comfortable for both parties. On to my favorite part about love languages, we're going to talk about how to show it to yourself. Because yes, love languages are important in every single relationship in your life, including the one you hold with yourself. On this podcast, we always talk about being self-aware and being able to identify your flaws, identify your strengths, all of these things without judgment. And embracing your love language is going to help you do that. If you struggle with mental health, this will help your mental health as well. Since this is all about self-love, there are little mantras, I don't know what the right word would be for this, that I came up with to help you remember kind of which one is which. So we're going to start off with words of affirmation again. This one is thinking self-love. It has more to do with the intellectual mind than the physical world. The ways you can show this one to yourself are affirmations. Everyone knows these are like my favorite things in the whole world. If you've been in my room, I have them written on my mirror. I have an affirmation journal. I have a gratitude journal. Words mean so much to me, and since I've been embracing that, I have noticed the biggest change in my self-love, and it's definitely been a journey for me. I don't talk a lot about my past to people or just the things I've experienced in my life. I used to struggle a lot with my self-esteem. I've gone through a couple EDs in my life. There's just a lot that I've had to learn to overcome. And this is not like a pity me story, but this is just letting you know, like, I have been to the point where I did not love myself. I was uncomfortable with every single aspect of me. So I'm telling you this as someone who has been there where I did not care about myself. I did not love myself. And through embracing my love language, it has assisted me in feeling the most in tune with myself and feeling the most care towards myself. Another thing you can do to show this love language to yourself is gratitude journals, like I just said. Those can be used to write down all of your biggest strengths, all of your biggest accomplishments, all of the things that you love about yourself. Sometimes when you are struggling, it is nice to go back and look and be like, okay, not everyone hates me. Because that's something I get into sometimes is I'm like, I think everyone might hate me. No evidence, but okay, the next love language is quality time. I associated this one with being present with self-love because this one is very about being in the moment. The ways you can show this one to yourself is through meditation. Another one is breath work. Breath work is also really good if you suffer from really bad anxiety. The breath work can rebalance your nervous system and kind of bring you out of that fight or flight. You have designated time to yourself where you don't feel guilty for it. You can come up with some hobbies that you can do with yourself during this alone time. Also, prioritizing sleep and exercise, making sure you are getting enough sleep. And if you don't really like going to the gym or anything like that, just going for a walk in nature or just time that is dedicated to you. Next one is receiving gifts, and this one is absorbing self love. With receiving gifts, that one obviously is most fulfilled with tangible items. So every once in a while, when you're having a bad day, if you go out and get yourself something that you really love and is going to benefit you, that's the important part. Don't go out and just splurge because that may bring momentary happiness, but at the same time, it might stress you out in the long run. So if just every once in a while you go and you buy yourself something that you really love, you treat yourself. Treating yourself every once in a while is going to make you feel cared about. Rewarding yourself for achievements as well. If you've had a long, hard work week and you're tired and you've just been busting your ass, going and getting yourself a little treat or taking yourself to dinner or buying yourself a little bag or something, it will help you feel grounded. Next one is acts of service. This one is doing self love. Spending time and effort planning groceries, like meal prepping, or even just planning out a grocery list that is going to make your body feel the best. Having a clean, organized home environment, obviously to the best of your extent. It will just help you feel more calm and balanced in your space. Routine check ins with yourself to see how you're doing physically, how you're doing mentally, ways that you can adjust your schedule and your life to help you feel better, making sure you're prioritizing your well being over getting everything done on your to do list. Self care is obviously important with every single aspect of a love language, but specifically with acts of service, it's very important because when you're looking your best, you will feel your best. So making sure that you are dedicating time to looking your best and feeling your best, having a skincare routine, getting your hair done if you want to, getting your nails done, whatever self-care and looking your best means to you, if you go out of your way to do those things, you will feel better throughout your entire day. Okay, last but not least, physical touch. This one is feeling self-love. Physical touch obviously is very focused off of your senses, like your physical senses. Having a bubble bath after a long day or getting one of those foam rollers and rolling out your muscles will really help you with stress, since stress is mainly prioritized in your body. If this is your love language, this will help you to release it. Having comfy clothes that you can come home and put on after a long day, and a comfortable space, whatever that means for you. Once again, like if you just have a lot of blankets and pillows on your bed, or you have really comfy pillows or something that will help you have a space where you can relax. Also, having a skincare routine, just dedicated time where you're pampering yourself. I can't express to you how much learning my love language, like what it really was, and being able to start incorporating it in my life, how much it changed me and changed my life. I have struggled with mental health issues my entire life and been on medication for it, been in therapy, like all of these things. But I noticed the biggest difference with it when I started prioritizing taking care of myself and prioritizing showing love to myself the way I received it best. I embrace myself, I embrace my flaws and my positive attributes, and I'm able to show love to myself and others in a healthy way. Going through that journey, though, makes me want to help other people do it. So when I tell you guys these things, I'm telling you because I really do think it will help you. Like, I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. And I'm saying it as someone who has been through shit myself, who has been in a bad mental place myself, and to let you know that there is a better side to it all. I know everyone says that it gets better, but it really, really does. Sorry, that got a little bit soppy for a second. Okay, that is all for this week's episode. If you guys are watching this one on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, leave a little like. If you guys are listening to this episode on streaming services, make sure you give a 5 stars. Click the little notification bell so that you are told every single time I upload a new episode. I also really quickly wanted to say I, over the last couple episodes, I'd say, have had a lot of people start reaching out to me and tell me that they enjoy it, tell me that they learned something from it, tell me that it helped them. I've had people start reaching out to me and asking me to speak about certain things and certain topics. I also have a few guests that I am going to hopefully be getting on these next couple episodes, people that mean a lot to me, and I know that they will have very amazing things to say. So, all in all, I'm just so excited with the point that this is getting to, and I'm excited to see where it all goes. But thank you. If you have listened to any of the episodes, watched any of my videos, anything like that, I just want to let you know it means so much to me, and I will see you guys next week.